Clinton has been at the center of the nation's political skirmishes for decades. She's established an impressive resume as First Lady, Senator, and Secretary of State. But the ride to Democratic presidential nominee has been anything but smooth. And that includes tonight. Here's ABC's David Wright.
Tonight, that opening gavel brought her convention to order. No such luck. Hillary Clinton's road to the White House was always bound to be bumpy. This is not her first rodeo, and yet it's not like she's ever managed to make it look easy.
Well, this isn't exactly the party I'd planned.
Back in 1992, her first national convention opened to an entirely different mood.
The crowd down on the floor welcoming their nominee for president.
Back in the day, Bill Clinton was the new Democrat, promising not just a change of parties after 12 years of Reagan and Bush, but promising to change the Democratic Party itself.
It's time to change America.
She and Bill Clinton walked to Madison Square Garden from Macy's, triumphant. That was the night they introduced him to America as the man from hope.
It was a wonderful little small town where, you know, it seemed that everybody knew everybody else. I mean, my grandfather had a grade school education, and my grandmother had graduated from high school from a tiny little school out in Bodka, Arkansas.
His grandmother just valued education above all else.
A lifetime ago, right? Both of them so fresh-faced. The baby boom coming into its own. Now, Hillary Clinton is older and battle-scarred, the ultimate insider. Or, as the Trump campaign likes to put it, she embodies the status quo. Her ambition, never a secret.
I'm not just starting a campaign, though. I'm beginning a conversation.
Her willingness to work hard, never in doubt, yet she has struggled to get even this far. Overshadowed by Obama in 2008.
What can you say to the voters who seem to like Barack Obama more?
Well, that hurts my feelings.
You're likable enough,
Thank
Hillary,
you so much.
Under siege from Sanders this primary season.
And I question her judgment.
The insurgency apparently not over yet.
I mean, I think uniting the party is the most important thing that she has to do. You know, there's this whole group of voters that I think, they're not large, but they're large enough, and they don't like Trump, and they don't like Clinton, and they're about to have a chance to see a straight-up comparison between the two of them week to week. And they're the ones that she really has to sort of appeal to.
Her husband, like him or not, was a natural politician, instinctively able to connect.
I've been governor of a small state for 12 years. I'll tell you how it's affected me.
Hillary Clinton has struggled with that. Rarely has she shown real vulnerability. When she has, it's paid off.
I just don't want to see us fall backwards. You know,
So Clinton is slogging it out, campaigning today in the swing state of North Carolina. Today we met one woman who voted for Bill Clinton, but isn't yet convinced on Hillary.
I was a Bernie supporter, and I want to hear what Hillary has to say.
Objectively, she is much more qualified than her husband was when he ran. Over the past 30 years, she's checked all the boxes: globe-trotting First Lady, superstar Senator, Secretary of State, logging nearly 1 million miles, visiting 112 countries.
I ask you to vote for her because she's got the best record, because she's the most qualified to be commander-in-chief, but more important than anything else, she's identified the problems, proposed solutions, her numbers add up, and she's the best single change maker I ever met.
But she's been scandal-prone, partly through no fault of her own.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Partly because she's made matters worse for herself. Remember that trip to Bosnia when she supposedly came under sniper fire?
There was no greeting ceremony, and we basically were told to run to our cars. Now, that is what happened.
The pictures and the other people on that trip made it clear there was no such threat. More recently, she's had to contend with Benghazi, her ties to Wall Street, and why she chose to use that personal email server in violation of State Department rules.
There is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information.
And more recently, in an interview with 60 Minutes, talked about the Hillary standard.
I often feel like there's the Hillary standard, and then there's a standard for everybody else.
What's the Hillary standard?
Well, it is unfounded, inaccurate, mean-spirited attacks with no basis in truth, reality, which take on a life of their own.
Her policy positions, too, have evolved over the years, all of which hasn't exactly reassured voters that she can be trusted.
Crooked Hillary, right? Crooked Hillary.
Recent polls show that that's a huge Achilles heel for her. 2 out of 3 voters don't think she's honest and trustworthy. In fact, voters trust Trump more than they trust her. 1+ for Clinton, there's a generation of young voters who have no first-hand memory of all those scandals from the 90s. We met 2 of them today.
The Rose Law Firm. Do you know about the Rose Law Firm?
I've heard about it, but at this moment I don't.
Who is Vince Foster?
To be honest, I do not know.
Monica Lewinsky. Does that name ring a bell?
Yes. I did not have relations with that woman.
Along those lines, yes.
The trouble is, many of those younger voters were more excited about Bernie Sanders.
One of the real problems with Hillary Clinton is that she's sort of a hostage of her history. People who came of age under Obama and for who Obama is kind of the starting point rather than a political miracle, they just see the compromises. You know, they don't see the circumstances in which she had to make those compromises.
The convention this week in Philadelphia is Clinton's best opportunity to turn that around, to highlight the fact that she's the first lady to transform herself into a credible candidate for the West Wing, first woman to win her party's nomination. By getting even this far, she's made history. The question is, can she get this convention back on the rails? Her hopes of winning the White House may depend on it. I'm David Wright for Nightline in Charlotte, North Carolina.